La-di-da. Right, welcome to standing on two legs. This is the name of the show, standing on two legs. So we've got these two legs, right? And we've got these things, feet, and they're designed for this body to be stood on, to be positioned on. And so we would want then to be able to do that efficiently in a way that supports the body so that it doesn't degrade and degenerate over time. And instead it actually builds strength through the system because we're working with the natural forces, things like gravity that is on us all of the time, every moment of our life. And if we're not utilizing the mechanics of the body and the structures that are designed within it to work with these forces, the body gets crushed and then we get taken out. Gravity. You'll go to the grave unless you start working with gravity. So that's where I like to start with all of my teaching, is learning physics, understanding first principle physics, gravity being one of those principles, that it's a natural force that is upon us every moment of our lives, and most of us pay zero attention. And the more I really be aware and realize this, the more moments throughout the day that I'm aware of how my body's positioned, I really want to work with it. And what that looks like is when I'm slouching or I'm like bending over something, I will notice how my spine is and I'll feel the gravity like pushing me, and then I'll notice the tension in the muscles and maybe a little bit of pain in joints from having to compensate for that poor structure and the lack of awareness of gravity. And then it's just the awareness, the noticing of like, oh wow, my body's having to work so hard here just to hold me in this random position that I've found myself in. And it could be anything, watching your computer, TV, laptop, just laying there reading a book, like whatever you're doing, driving, just being aware, like, can I, so we'll go through how we want to be, can I get my spine nice and elongated so it can almost like decompress itself and have this this upright vertical structure to it, so that the bones are stacking on top of each other, and it's not like, you're having to, because there's all that tension there in the neck, but if I'm here, it's just almost effortless, and we want effortlessness within the positions that we're in, working with gravity. And then what happens is your primary mode of creating structure in the body and movement goes from the musculoskeletal driven structure. So it's like you go from relying on your actual bones and your muscles holding those bones and joints in place by bracing and tightening and compensating and getting stronger, and you go from that to a fascial structured driven system. So the fascia is this, you're using your fascia no matter what, but you go from using it like 10% and you can build that up. And the more that you use your fascial structure as your mode of structure and movement in the body, the more effortless and more energy efficient your body becomes. And that's what we're after. We want energy efficiency within our body. Because you think of any intelligent, well-designed machine, it's very energy efficient. And the more energy efficient it is, the more value it has. Because energy utilization and efficiency is a currency. It is how our organisms and all life has evolved and developed. It's about utilizing energy in a very efficient manner. None more so than things like trees that utilize the 0.04% of carbon in the atmosphere to create their mass, to create the cellulose, the physical mass within the trunks and branches. They utilize it. It's so energy efficient. And so yeah, energy efficiency is really what we're developing here, and it comes through practicing good structure, good posture, and we want the bones to be stacked on each other, and then that way what that does is firstly it allows those muscles that we're having to brace because they're compensating for this lack of nice alignment, and those muscles can now relax. And muscles take a lot of energy to brace and contract, and so we're allowing them to relax. That gets a lot more energy back into our system. So again, energy efficiency. Where are we leaking and wasting energy that doesn't need to be wasted and leaked? Are we bracing up here because of we're we've unconsciously programmed and wired it into our system, our subconscious mind, the body, because we're bracing for some event or something has happened and we haven't been able to process and allow that energy, that restriction or adhesion that had been created in the fascial layers because we were getting ready to run or something and we stayed in that state and we didn't allow it to release and soften, and then we get that fascia sliding and gliding again close to or around that event. That's what creates all of the rigidity and tightness and tension in our system. So it's a practice of creating the structure and relaxing the body. Those two things together is the formula. Structure and relaxation. So nice structure means bare feet. Please just practice getting bare feet. And just do stuff like this with your toes. Just lift them up and put them down, pick things up with them. Just practice using them like hands as much as you can. I know that can be a little bit tricky and it's a random thing to do, but just practice like picking things up and scrunching, the towel on the ground. There's a guy that teaches, fascial connection, and he does these things called elevated towel curls. So he'll put the towel down and you just do this, heel elevated, and you just scrunch it and you pull it into you, or you just scrunch it and let go, scrunch it and let go. And you do that for it's like 3 to 5 minutes each toe, but like for me, doing like boring exercises like that is not how you develop the body sustainably and you keep people, it's a lifelong journey this. It's not like you do these towel curls for a week and then you're done. There probably is some sort of protocol with it. But for me, it's like, how can we integrate these kind of things into everyday life where it just feels natural and then it's actually kind of fun? And you go, all right, let's see if I can get this thing. And that's what it becomes. Life becomes a game. It's got to be enjoyable, but we have to be working with the natural forces, things like gravity, and with the body in a way that it's going to develop and grow stronger and become more and more effortless over time. It's not a matter of it just starting to degrade because we're getting older. That's the most weak and just please don't just adhere to that mindset. Your body can develop and get stronger and more vibrant and a wider electromagnetic field, greater fluidity and function and structure in your movement. Your body should be feeling better and better as you age, not the other way around. If we are aware of how it works, how the system is set up to be working with nature. We are part of nature. We're so connected with these things. They're like, we're so close to being a plant. I find the more I understand about the body, the more I realize I'm just like a tree. I'm there, I'm trying to conserve and generate efficient energy from the atmosphere, from the energy around. The more present and still I become, the more the energy flows and grows. The more I root through my feet, the more I can, not necessarily physically, but I can express freely with my my upper torso and branches. And I don't know, yeah. I don't know anything. If you you don't have to take any of this way of saying things, but this is just how I go about it, and I like it, and I enjoy my human experience, and I'm not sure many people can actually say that from a genuine place. So I wanted to start sharing these things because they're super powerful and valuable if you apply the simple teachings. And so where it really starts is just learning how to stand properly. And that's again, so the toes, that's where we went off on the tangent, the toes. So the toes, just getting them nice and dexterous, getting them strong, doing lots of little hops and bounces. And you want to see these are the fascial lines. You want to see those lines that you can see there. You want to get them nice and developed. And then you get this thing in there called like a, I can see it, see in there. That's when the body's starting to become more athletic and get more springy. And this, I've just really developed this because I used to be like the slowest guy on my rugby team. Like I was known for being slow, but now I've got a bit of a springiness into the step because I used to just be like super musculoskeletal, trying to like just go harder. But if I learned how to actually develop the body and work with it in a more efficient way, the amount of energy, I became very mentally, I could push quite far mentally because I had to push the body that wasn't like as strong or whatever. But if I just learned, it's less about that and just more about that intelligence, understanding how it works, and then we can get it nice and springy and powerful. And that the fascia, when it's well connected through the feet, gives a lot of really good balance. There's balance and springiness. Because you got to think of it like it's more like having hands down there, and they can go into like running mode and they turn into more springs, or then they can go into like grippy mode with greater dexterity and like tension. So feet, just vitally important to get barefoot more often. And then from there, once the feet are starting to develop, well, you just work with them wherever they're at. You want it's just a slight bend in the knees. So if that's locked knees, just slight bend. Locked knees, slight bend. Because locked knees, it doesn't develop the fascia. And we're using this as an isometric exercise, as well as meditation, as well as rebuilding structure, as well as cultivating energy, as well as opening and loosening and dissolving tensions and pains in the body. And we're creating symmetry and alignment through our physical structure. And what I've noticed is the more that I do this in my physical body, the more that my external life comes into more alignment and structure. And it's less about needing to do and more about just the more I focus on this, because this is how I experience life. If I experience it through and from this physical body. So when it's well aligned, energy's flowing freely, the body feels good, I can relax, but I still feel vitally alive. I feel good. And from that place of feeling good, you're just naturally kind and compassionate and happy and enjoyable to be around for other people, because it's a nice energy, and it's not forced, because you just feel good in your body. Like, why wouldn't you just like say hello and smile at people and interact in a fun, light way? The body literally feels lighter once I've started connecting that springiness from the toes all the way up, bands around through the legs into the glutes, and then into the core. It's like a very very stable. It feels very stable and almost like sticky. And I actually developed a lot of this dancing and going out and just listening to music and doing this, getting really like sticky in the ground, getting a wide base, and then playing with it. It's just building deeper and stronger connection in the legs. Because I'd had knee operations and surgeries, and I'd always just sort of cop out of things because the knee too painful, which it was super painful. But when I started activating the body and the legs in a different way, it decompressed and took a lot of pressure out of the knee, and now it's sweet. Like there's still I still notice it from time to time, but almost nothing from it being like a real hindrance in my life. No way I could just kind of do this stuff. And then if I did do something, it would get real painful for a few days. But now it's because the whole body's working differently. It there's less inflammation. My body's able to heal a lot more quickly because the energy's running more efficiently through it. Less going to digestion and more available for regeneration, these sorts of things. So that really helped the knee. So we're still learning to stand. So we've got the feet stable like roots, and again, just play with it. So you can start just quite close together with the feet, and you could start a little bit further apart. But the more advanced you get, or if you want to play around, getting nice wide base and nice deep kind of position like this. What it does is it just builds the fascial strong stability faster, but it's obviously a lot more intense, and we're not after intensity, especially at the beginning. Play with the intensity every now and again, but don't push yourself through it. We're not operating from that mindset anymore. We're operating from a mindset of 10, 20, 30 years time. Where do we want to be? And what's the most sustainable way to get there? It's not by pushing. It's by consistency and developing this slowly but surely, and doing it in a way that's enjoyable. So the way I make this enjoyable, I go to beautiful locations, find a little spot by the beach or in the trees or with a friend under a tree. Got the best tree in the backyard now. Well, it's always been there. But I invite other people over to do it with me and practice it and learn it, and then you got a shared experience. And you notice it. 10 minutes. And you don't even need to start with that. Start with just 1 or 2, because the body can be super out of alignment, and it can be actually really difficult just to stand. And the mind will avoid it as well. Just getting started. It takes 2 minutes. Just get up now and stand, and for 2 minutes close the eyes. But so where we are, feet, slight bend in the knees, and then hips sort of stacked over the feet, so the knees are just slightly forward, and then the hips just stacked over the feet like that. And then what that does is it activates the fascia, and we're starting to strengthen that. It's now an isometric exercise. We're decompressing the body, creating greater structure and stability and balance. And then we're working into the core, and then we want the whole sort of upper body just super relaxed. And then the final thing is, imagine a string pulling the top of your spine directly upwards, directly up. And what that's going to do is help decompress the spine. Most people have a compressed spine. That's where a lot of the nervy pain comes from in people's backs, and then the muscles have to spasm and everything goes out of alignment. And it's very, very poor energy efficiency. Think of all that like tension and energy that has to go into contracting a muscle. And so all we're doing is we're decompressing and allowing those muscles to relax. So we go tall, slight bend in the knees, nice balanced feet. And we just breathe naturally. So we're not forcing the breath, we're not doing breath work. We're past that. Different perspective now. It served its purpose. But now we're relaxing into the natural rhythms of our body and that natural intelligence that's there. And that natural intelligence knows how to unwind and heal and generate and support the body in creating energy more than anything else. And all you have to do is relax. And if you relax with beautiful structure like we're doing, it just enhances everything. And increases and speeds up the process. But it's slow. It's like slow. You stand, you close your eyes, you get the structure, and you relax into it. And the slower you go, the more you relax, the smoother the energy can flow. And we know that when energy and things like water are flowing smoothly, that's when it's moving fast. So to the eye, it looks like nothing's happening, but to the subtle energy and to the eye that can see with greater clarity, this is growing the energy within your body. And when you go energy growing and running more smoothly within your system, everything gets better. Health is a direct reflection of the energy that's flowing through your system. You get the energy flowing through your system, all of your health gets better. Everything. You don't even need to focus on losing weight. You focus on creating smooth energy flow in your system, and the weight will take care of itself. You practice being and coming from this perspective, your behaviors and choices change very quickly and a lot more easily without willpower. They just fall away. And sometimes it can take longer than others. Some things are more ingrained and more deeply patterned into your body than others, so they take longer. But it's a matter of being kind and loving that little part of you that didn't know better, and it's all good over and over and over again until it's fully acknowledged and fully loved, and then it falls away without any force. It's just a matter of loving, unconditional love for yourself. That's what it's about. That's what leads you to a beautiful, harmonious system. And yeah, so yeah, you know what I'm talking about. So this is it. That's how to stand. Shoulders, a lot of people have like quite rolled in shoulders, so we're practicing pulling them back and just that nice neutral position. Just think neutral, slow, like you're still, you're in neutral, and the body is in neutral, and that's when everything opens up. We're creating an open system. Everyone's an open system, but people become very closed systems over time, plugging themselves up, closing themselves off to the world, getting crushed by gravity. We're practicing opening the system, and not only are we opening it, mechanically and structurally, but to the atmosphere. The breathing will naturally slow as we create this relaxation in the body. A lot of people have really tight fascia, especially through the solar plexus here, the solar the sun plexus, where a lot of the light comes into the body, and then there's all these nerve endings. So it's a very sensitive area, and there's a lot of like that sensory information, because a lot of fascia like wound up there. The breath and the fascia are very interconnected. The more we can slow and flow the breath, the more that the fascia opens and slides and glides. And you can practice like breathing into these different areas, and doing these big full inhales, and then you can suck a few more gulps in through the mouth. It's called like packing in freediving language. So as full as you go, and then you're holding all of that air in. And then what you can do is you push it down, and what that's doing is it's helping just expand the fascia and the diaphragm there. The diaphragm's like the bottom of your lungs basically, and it's a lot more than that, but it helps pull the lungs down and out and give them more capacity. So if we can fill the lungs and then push that air down, that's going to help, like, just because they'll be quite stuck and rigid if you haven't been breathing slow and low. So it can be a good exercise just to get a little bit more hydration through those little layers there that are wanting to come down. They naturally want to come down, but often the body's been so in that slight fight or flight for so long that it creates this stiffness and tension. And these are the areas that we need to focus on before we start focusing on like hip mobility and all the stuff that you see on the internet these days. It's focusing on the internals, understanding the stuff that we can't see with greater depth and detail. That's going to hold us in a lot greater stead than being able to do a pigeon pigeon pose, get that hip mobility. But anyway, so that's it. Standing still with Roo. I hope you learned something in our lesson today. Let me know in the comments what was there might have been more than one, but yeah, a few points or maybe one thing that you took away from this that you found very valuable, maybe an insight or an aha moment. Because a lot of these things have been revelations for me. They've been, accumulation of aha moments, and that sort of led to a greater perspective and then a different way of living. And it's a way of living, essentially, that I talk about, because it's how we live that determines who we are, how we are, our experience of life. And to have a practice where you're working with the structure of the vehicle and the home, your body, that you experience everything through, it's going to make everything a more enjoyable experience when it works better, when it works more efficiently, when it has more energy available, when it feels relaxed. Like, most things that we're searching for is just so we can feel relaxed. It's like, I want the car, and then you think about it, well, what is it? You actually get the car. It's not the thing. Like, yeah, it might go, but it's like, like it's cool. Like, I don't know even what it is. It's like this good feeling. It's a feeling that we're wanting. But if you feel good, you've already got it. You already have it. You just have to cultivate the energy. And then what happens is when that energy's flowing freely, it can create more, do more, it sees more opportunity. It's the electromagnetic field, a literal electromagnetic field that your body has and all other matter has. It grows, it develops. So you start magnetizing things that are on that wavelength of energy that you're on. And it's like synchronicities, and it's just part. You get it. You're like, okay, it makes sense. It's physics. It's science. It's not wish-washy. It's just smaller. It's smaller. Like your eyes can't quite see it. So, but you can read about it. You can learn about it. And then you can understand it and play with it. And that's what it's about as well, playing with it. A lifestyle of play and exploration is where we want to be. That's what I'm finding the most natural way of experiencing life as a human is exploration and play. And from that energy where you feel good, it's very kind and caring to the environment. Nothing makes me more like I've achieved something than planting a tree in the ground. I planted a mango yesterday, 4 papayas, dug a couple more holes, found this beautiful, not Thai, where are they from? The one next to Thailand. Anyway, she and her husband are growing all of these exotic fruit trees, and it's like 40 minutes away. I might go and just donate my time and work there for a day a week or something and just help her out, because it's so cool. And just, maybe do a exchange for a couple of trees. She's got hundreds, and she grows a lot of them from seed and then a lot of them from the branches. She's got these red or raspberry, I think, custard apples, and she's only got a couple of them, and she's like, no, I can't let them go yet. I was like, it's okay, once you have a fruit, just give me a few of the seeds. But yeah, it's simple. It's really simple when we start to see that we're a part of nature, and just standing brings so much time and presence into you. That's what we got to do, bring time and presence into you. We've got to give ourselves some loving, some energy, some care and attention. And that's when everything starts to just work a little bit better. But we forget it over and over. So just start with 2 minutes a day. Do that for 2 days, and then 3 minutes a day. Start with 1 minute a day for 1 day. And then tomorrow, 2 minutes, and then go for 2 days. And then after that's complete, 3 minutes, and do that for 3 days in a row. And slowly build it up, but build the consistency. Make sure you don't miss a day. It's only 2 minutes, 1 minute, 3 minutes. Even chuck a wee alarm in of when you know you'll have a moment. First thing in the morning's good. Just before you go to bed's good. I often like to do it fully naked, staring at the sun. That's extra for experts. I like to open my mouth, do my teeth, because the sun, the UV in the sun is like antibacterial. It cleans the sun's literally cleaning your body. Water is a carrier of the photons of light. That's our number one and primary source of energy, not only for all life on the planet, for the physical human body. What it does is it charges the particles in our atmosphere. So like fish don't really understand that water's around them, fueling them, just as much as their little bits of food. The atmosphere is fueling us. It's charged with electrical energy. And the more that we can relax and slow the body, have greater structure and the energy flowing more efficiently through our system, the more that atmospheric energy can do what it's naturally designed to do and fuel the body. It's very subtle, and it needs a nice structure and effortlessness. If we're quite tense, we need more density. We need to fuel it in other forms. That's a whole nother lesson. We'll do another one of these another day. Have a good day. Peace. Questions below.